All right, everybody, I do read your comments and I do pay attention. In fact, Ben S. suggested something and we'll try it right now. Stay tuned. All right, y'all might have seen this on one of my videos. Those nice, cool blue glasses I make. Well, I took this one out too early. It's about 400 some degrees. And the cold hit it on the end, I guess, and cracked it off right there. Cracked right there, perfect right there. So, Ben, and I had to put it in a trash can, but Ben wrote, I wonder if you re-slump that cracked bottle, if it would melt back together again where it's cracked. Maybe worth a try. Good suggestion, Ben. I'm going to give it a shot. And I'm going to show y'all a couple things on this. First, y'all notice the designs on the back of this. Well, let's start off with what kind of bottle is this? This is the bottle it came from. It's called Sky Vodka bottle. But before you try to do this, you have to take all this off. If it's actually paint on it, the paint will get seared into the bottle, but this is not. It looks like it is, but it's not right there if y'all see it. You actually have to take a razor blade and slowly get this off and clean all the glue off of it, and on both sides, front and back, before you get started. And then you can set it in the mold. I'm going to show you the mold right now, and melt it. Now, or slump it, actually. We're not actually turning to a liquid, it's slumping, it's called. Now, what kind of mold do we use? This particular mold is this one right here. As you can see, it's got some designs in the bottom of it. So when you actually put the bottle into the mold right here, and I'll hold it up here so you can see it, hold on. When you put the bottle in the mold right there, it'll sit like that and it'll slowly melt down into that design and create that design on back. Now I'm going to try to make my own mold on something. Now, this is going to be another video, but I did buy the material to make my own mold like this. Not sure what we're going to do yet, but I'm going to definitely do that in the future. But anyway, let's get back to where we're at. So, how can we do this? Now, this is going to work really good for one reason right here, because this is going to fit perfectly how it's slumped into this mold. See how it fit right in there, right there? And then this piece here will actually slump. It's got the little designs on the back. That's going to slump right into it. And look at that. I mean, it fits perfect. So you don't have to try to hold it together. So this mold will actually hold it together. Now, what we're going to try to do, normally I would let this sit. I got a program I designed and put into the kiln. You know, it heats up at a certain temperature, so it keeps it not too fast and not too slow, but it heats it up. And then I let it sit on one part of it, one of my phases, sits for an hour after it gets to the temperature that it will slump. Well, what I'm gonna do though, I don't want it to do that because it's already slumped down, but I want to heat it up to the point that it's gonna get to that molten stage, but yet not slumping. So I'm gonna probably get it up to that point. I think it's like 1350 degrees, around that range. But anyway, I'll get it at that point and hopefully it will start to melt back together. And I'm going to shut the machine off instead of letting it sit for an hour because I don't want it to kind of go down anymore. And we'll see how it goes. Then you got to cool it down slow. And we'll let it go all the way down to like 100. I might get it at 150 degrees, but not 400 degrees. So big difference. So anyway, we're going to should let it get down to under 100. You know, anyway, we can pick it up and handle it. But what we'll do is we'll go ahead and set this in the kiln. I'll show you the kiln right now in a second. We'll go here right now and put it in there. Get it cranked up. It's going to take probably about... Normally it'd take over 4 hours, but doing this, I'm going to shut it down after 3 hours after it gets up to that certain temperature and not sitting there, and we'll kind of look at it real quick because it's going to be very, very hot. It'll be glowing red hot. So anyway, let's get out here right now and put it in the kiln. You ready? Let's give it a try. It'll be fun. All right, everybody, here is my kiln. I have actually set it down in here, and it's definitely pushed together right there really well. What we'll do right now is we'll shut it down and we are going to crank this thing up. I got sitting on my rack here. These are some of my other molds here. That's to make the egg mold, flat mold, tree of life mold. I really like that tree of life mold. That makes some beautiful glass right there. I like that one. But anyway, what we're going to do is come in here. I've got this program for 4 different modes. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead. Mode 1, 2, 3. And start. I went through them all and now start. But I'll keep eye on this in probably about 2.5 hours, 3 hours. I'll come back out here. I'll check it and I'll show it to you. Glowing red hot. She's starting to heat up now. You see, we got a little viewing window here. We can look in here and kind of see what's going on too. So anyway, let's let this thing get going and we'll check back on this thing in just a little bit. All right, we are cooking up slowly. We're at 1103 degrees. Like I said, we want to raise this temperature very slowly here, but as you look in here and see, it is starting to glow red. I'm going to give you a real quick peek in here, just real quick. It's glowing red. Ooh, it's hot coming out of there. You can't even leave it up but a second because it'll burn you. All right, we're going to let it keep heating up and it'll get up over 1300 degrees. Then we're going to shut it down and see if it fuses back together. Pretty cool. Stay tuned. All right, we're up to 1304 degrees. It's got 7 minutes left on that cycle right there. And we're glowing red. You can see the top of it maybe up in there, but she's glowing red in there. All right, we're going to give it a little bit long. When it gets up to the final cooking temperature here, we're going to probably shut her down. Stay tuned. All right, we have reached our max temperature. I had it set at 1375 is my max temperature. And as you see, it's clicking. It would stay on here for an hour, but what we're going to do, we're going to shut this down right now. It's off. All right, it took it 3 hours and 46 minutes. It's at 1374 degrees right now. I don't really want to lift it open, but as you see, it is glowing red hot in there, red hot. All right, it's going to take this thing probably about 3 to 4 hours, maybe 5 or 6 hours to cool down to the point we can take it out. So we're going to have to hold off a little bit until it cools down. So stay tuned. We'll hopefully maybe later tonight before I go to bed, we'll be able to get it out and see how well it fuses. Stay tuned. I'm excited. All right, after about 6 hours, it was still over 300 degrees, so I couldn't do it last night, but this morning it's down. It says 68, but it's got to be at least 70 or something. But anyway, we're okay now to lift it up and see what it did. You can still see the crack in that glass right there. But I can just pick it right up here. Well, it seems to be sealed. I don't know, guys. I think it might have gone together. Good idea. I don't see it coming apart. It's much better doing that than any kind of glue you could have done. Something even on the back here. I can barely see the little crack right there, which if I left it stay in a little bit longer, it might have fused together even more. But I didn't want to run the chance of creating some more issues otherwise on the bottle. So it looks like it was a success. It's pretty sweet. Look at that. They can be used now. I like it. All right, well, that's something else you could do. If you get a broken one, you can actually seam it back together by heating it up. And it might do better if you do it a little bit longer. It might actually seal so you couldn't even see it if I did it longer. All right, it's all a little testing and experimenting on this job right here. All right, appreciate everybody checking this video out. Don't forget to click like, comment below, share, and subscribe to the Gigmaster. It worked.